Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of New Earth TV Live. We are now on our 20th episode. Super awesome. So thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be sharing today. We're going to be doing another version of the black ball, white ball method here very shortly. And then we're going to get into Q&A with Adronis. And again, as I've been doing him in a mediumship-like quality, it's just a lot easier with a lot of the questions that come in as well, too. So I'll just be continuing to do that. So again, when you guys do ask questions, make sure they're not personal in nature. If you guys have personal questions, that's really where private sessions come in, right? So basically keeping your questions kind of semi-personal or general in that way. That way, I really look for questions that are good to help many people, right? So if it's basically, Brad, why am I here on this planet? Well, that's more of a personal question. So that's best served through a session, all right? So anyways, we're going to get into Q&A here in a little bit, and we're going to get into the new version of the black ball, white ball here very shortly. But of course, first and foremost, we're going to get into some announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And also the Akashic Record Sessions are now available as well too. So Akashic readings and Akashic healings. I've already done a few of them, and my goodness, it is really, really awesome. It's a lot more deeper, a lot more grander than the Akashic Record Sessions I've done in the past. Because I've been doing Akashic Record Sessions now for almost about 11 years, or actually more longer than that, 12 years, I would say. And so doing this new version, where it's kind of a mix between connecting to the Akashic Records intuitively and also working together alongside Vedic astrology. There's a lot of information that comes about. So I'm really excited to do this. Already got quite a few bookings already, but there are still bookings available. So if you guys are interested in looking at the Akashic Record Sessions, or basically the Akashic Combo Sessions, which is Akashic Reading and Akashic Healing together, you can check that out at newearthteachings.com. You'll see the image on the homepage. Just click on that, and you'll be taken to the information page. And of course, Adronis, Life in Higher Planes. This is going to be happening on May 16th. That's Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. We still got some registration spots available. This is going to be a really exciting webinar. Adronis is really going to be talking about different planes, about how life exists in these higher planes. He's also going to be bringing in some other entities or other consciousnesses to share some insight in regards to the higher planes. Again, I'm not even really filled in on these type of beings that are coming in, but it'll just happen when it happens. And that's basically Adronis' own assurance. It's like, well, when it comes in, you'll know it. It'll happen. It'll flow through nicely. So I'm looking forward to that as well too. Plus there will be Q&A with Adronis as well too. So again, this is being held on Zoom webinars. And to register, just go to newearthteachings.com. You'll see this poster here. Click on that poster and you'll go to the registration page. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started with today's New Earth TV Live. So we're already getting some questions coming in. That's great. So if you guys do have priority, if you want to get your question in on a priority, you can do the contribution way, right? The donation way. That's when I see a donation, I go to that question first and foremost. And that's just a helpful thing. And I appreciate that for anybody who does. But nonetheless, we'll go through questions as best as we can through the time that we have. So the first thing we're going to do right now is the new black ball, white ball technique. Now it's not too overly different, right? It still is very much the same premise. But what I would suggest is working with the original blueprint of the black ball, white ball technique, where you're connecting with spirit and that energy is leaving the black ball and then you're bringing the white ball in. I still feel that's a good method to do first and foremost. But this is an alternative method. It's referred to as the transmutation method, okay? It's the transmutation method of the black ball and white ball technique. So to do this, we're just going to get ourselves nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. You can place your hands upon the center of your chest. And we're just going to take some deep breaths in and out. Okay, so inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And just relaxing yourself now and breathing normally. And now just in the center of your chest, seeing a black ball contained there in the center of the chest. And now we're just going to give ourselves a quick scan. It's like we're just seeing this green beam just coming from the top of our head and just slowly scanning down the body and just being aware of any tension, of any dense energies, basically seeing them as black liquid dense energy pockets within the body, right? So if you have a headache, you may start to feel a black liquid dense energy pocket there. If you have a problem with the neck, you may feel a black liquid dense energy pocket there. Going down the area of the stomach, you may feel a black liquid dense energy pocket there. Okay, and you're just being aware of any of these particular pockets as you're scanning all the way down to the bottom of the feet. And just looking into a particular area or areas, whatever you prefer. Okay, and you're just honing in on those areas. You now know where they are. And we're going to see a black root coming out through the black ball. And those roots are now just going to attach to those pocketed areas of black liquid dense energy. So again, if it's something in the chest, something in the neck, something in the head, you're just seeing those roots connecting directly to those areas. And as they connect directly to those areas, we're going to do the apologetic affirmation. Okay, so the apologetic affirmation's purpose is to work together in harmony with the body. It's to work in cooperation, and we're asking for the body's forgiveness. We're being humble to the body. As we are being humble and loving and compassionate to the body, we become one with the body. And the body is very, very happy to hear this, and the body will gratefully relinquish a lot of these energies to clear them up because you have become humbled. If we're still being very emotional and say, no, I'm not going to cooperate with my body, well, then you're just going to continue to have these pockets contained in the body because you're not willing to work with them, right? So we're putting the hypnosis effect of emotions out of the way, right? I'll get into that a little bit later on too about emotions or hypnosis, okay? And we're just getting ourselves into a tranquil, neutral, compassionate state of being. And we're just going to work together with the body in humility. And this is where the apologetic affirmation comes in. Okay, so you can repeat after me. I apologize to my body for being neglectful regarding this condition or these conditions. I ask for my body's forgiveness, as well as its assistance, to clear away these conditions, releasing them to spirit, to be purified and forgiven in totality. And so it is. Okay, take another inhale, exhale. All right. And now our body is going to start working together with us in cooperation. We were very sincere, compassionate, humble to the body. And now we're going to feel those pockets of black liquid dense energy being absorbed directly into the black ball. Okay, so all of those, that black liquid dense energy is now moving itself directly into the black ball to be stored there. Okay, so we're just giving ourselves a couple of moments here just to fill up that ball, okay, with as much of the black liquid dense energy as possible. So in the first version, what we would originally do here is I would bring in spirit, and spirit would help to clear out the black ball, but we're not going to do that this time. Okay, this is the transmutation edition of the black liquid dense energy. Okay, we're going to keep all of that energy in the black liquid ball. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is we're just going to do some very deep breathing. Okay, now it's basically like heart rate variability here. Okay, so what you're going to do is, just for this example, we're going to breathe in with a count of 5, and then we're going to breathe out with a count of 6. Okay, now if you're more experienced with breath work, You could probably put it like for 8 seconds in, 9 seconds out, or 12 seconds in, 13 seconds out. That's up to you. But just for the simplicity of this exercise, we're just going to do a 5-second inhale and a 6-second exhale. Okay, so when you're breathing in, you want to really feel that breath down by the navel. Okay, when you're breathing in, you're feeling the lungs, and it feels like the breath is moving all the way up to the collarbone here. Okay, just around the area of the thyroid. That's how high up we want the breath. Okay, when we're exhaling, we want to bring it all the way down to the area of the navel again. Okay, so you're moving it up, right to the collarbone. Exhale, moving it down, right to the navel. And you're remembering to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to do that in complement now for 5 times. Okay, so 5 durations of it. So, starting at the navel, taking a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right at the collarbone. Instantly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not stopping the breath at all. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fourth breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fifth breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And relax. Okay, so where is our mind gone? Our mind has completely focused on that breath. It's focused on the pattern, the rhythmic breathing, right, of the heart rate variability. Okay, so now we're just getting nice and relaxed. And now with that black ball there, we're just going to feel this love energy come into us now. So now we're going to go into our mind and we're going to look at opposites. Okay, and this is where the love energy comes in. So let's say for example, that if we've put some energy in the black ball, and we feel that there's some anger there, there's some fear there, there's some sadness there. Okay, well, what's the opposite of anger? Happiness. Okay, so there's something for me there to think of. What's the opposite of sadness? Well, the opposite of sadness would be joy, joyfulness. Okay, there's something there I can think of. What's the opposite of fear? Love, lovingness. All right, so basically I'm saying that I want to bring happiness, joyfulness, and lovingness directly into my awareness right now. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So with your eyes closed, your hands again upon the center of your chest, you see that black ball there with all of its liquid. We're just creating these really beautiful, positive, reinforcing thoughts, just like in the BCR technique, right? So you're thinking of something very joyful. You're thinking of something very happy. You're thinking of something very loving, okay? So maybe it's a dream that you had a few nights ago where you felt you were flying through the air and you were intermingling together with the angels and you felt so happy and there was just light all around you and everything felt so blissful and happy. Well, go back into that moment. Go very deep into that moment. You're thinking back to when you were 5 years old. You had a wonderful birthday party. All your friends were there. Your family was there. They were singing happy birthday to you. It was just so enjoyable. You just had a big smile on your face and it was the most wonderful birthday you ever had. Great. There's happiness. There's joy. Right? So let's bring that awareness into ourselves. Okay? And when we put that awareness, those positive thoughts, right? Those positive dreams, positive imagination, we're imagining like we're just putting them as bubbles in the mind. Okay? So we're just filling that bubble with that happy thought, that happy feeling. And now we're just sinking it down and putting it into the black ball. Okay? That's all you're doing. You're taking a positive thought, positive feeling, positive memory, filling it up in this bubble, and putting it down into the black ball. And you're continuing to do this, one after another, and after another. Okay? You keep doing that. And as you do this, the black ball is now going to turn white. Okay? So now you're seeing the blackness, right? All of that dense energy completely dissolving and transmuting itself directly into white light, white liquid coming into the ball. Okay, so I just want you to continue to focus on that. Here's my happy birthday party, right? Here's that beautiful dream I had. So all these wonderful feelings that are coming into me, my positive reinforcement, and I'm turning that black liquid ball into a white liquid ball. So we go through a transmutation. Okay? So let's just take a few moments to do that now. Taking all of your loving, positive energy, those memories, those visions, those dreams, that imagination, putting it directly into the black ball, transmuting it into a white ball. Okay. And now we're going to see that black ball completely transformed into a white ball. So now, with the white ball there, I want you to feel the roots coming out again. I want you just to attach those roots to where they were previously, where those black liquid dense energy pockets were. So say, for example, if you had a headache, you're attaching a white root there. Okay, if you had a neck pain, okay, back of the neck, you're feeling a root connect there. If you have a stomach ache, you're feeling a root connect there. Just all the previous areas that you worked on that had black liquid dense energy in them. Okay, so as that's done, we're now just having our hands upon the white ball now, taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, direct that white liquid energy into those areas that were previously compromised. So as you exhale, you feel white liquid coming through the roots and going directly into that area. And if you want to, you can even move your hand there and just start rubbing it in. Okay, you can start rubbing that energy in, and you're just moving it in a clockwise direction. Okay, so just moving your hands in a clockwise direction, rubbing that energy into shoulder, the head, even if it's up here, right? You're rubbing it in there as well too. Back of the head, you can rub it in there as well too. You don't have to do that, but just a good thing to really do. You can also tap it in. Okay, if you don't want to rub, you can tap. Okay, you're tapping that energy in. That also is a good thing to do. Okay, just like EFT tapping. Okay, so you're just looking at your spots, you're putting the white liquid energy in there, and you're tapping it in, or you're rubbing it in. Okay, rubbing it in all together. Good. Now we're going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and that concludes the black ball, white ball technique transmutation edition. Okay, so that's the second edition. That's the second form that you can do. The first one is working with spirit light. Spirit light clears all that out because spirit light does the work. That's again my first recommendation, but this is the second recommendation, is doing it in the form of a transmutation based format. Okay, so very good. Thank you guys. I hope that has been helpful for you. Keep practicing with this every single day. We all have the capability to heal ourselves, right? And the funny thing as well too is that a lot of the physical pain that we're feeling, a lot of it is only 10% of it is only through the physical body, right? 90% of it, you have to look into the emotional body and into the mental body. When you have emotional and mental wellness, the great majority of your body is going to be in phenomenal shape. It's going to be in phenomenal wellness. It's going to be in phenomenal health. There's that little bit of 10% stuff that we have to do, right? Some basic maintenance, of course. You got to clean the body. We got to feed the body. We got to hydrate the body, right? All of that. Just giving the body its basic needs. But you want to tackle that 90%, okay? And that's where the emotional body and the mental body come into play. All right? So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me with that. Now we're going to go ahead and move on into Q&A. So if you guys do have questions for myself or for Adronis, again, remember to keep it semi-personal or general in that way. Okay, just questions that you would ask that you think a lot of people would like to ask. Okay, that really helps. Okay, so I'm going to go into the live chat now. And hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Yes. People from Belgium, from Germany, from Iraq, from Sweden. Great. It's wonderful. Okay. Okay, Rob, actually, no, okay. Yeah, Rob says here, question, is the quantum financial system real? Will there be a revaluation of very low value currencies? Will funds be redistributed to humanitarian projects? I feel that that's kind of a system for the future, in the best way I could put it. It certainly is in development. There's a lot of people talking about it. I haven't found anything concrete about it yet. So maybe somebody else has, but I certainly haven't. But yes, Adronis has talked about the quantum financial system. He says this will be something that will happen down the road. as quantum computing becomes a lot more bigger as well too, which is still just in the infant stages right now, right? Just in regards to publicity, right? They've had quantum computing behind the scenes in black shadow projects for quite some time, but basically, like I said, it's all about the public reinventing these things altogether, and sometimes they'll get hints. It's like Adronis talked about, is that there are certain education centers, certain universities that are basically secretly being given the blueprints of these types of technologies so that they can be brought out organically, so as to not have any particular type of sabotage come together with it. And it's all kept in kind of a state of secrecy until it reaches out certain phases of rollout. So the feeling I get is that as quantum computing gets a little bit bigger, then yes, there'll be a lot more of a quantum financial system. We're not really in the quantum age yet. We're getting there, right? Basically, as we get into the end of this decade, moving into the next decade, that will really be the quantum age. That's where we're moving into the quantum level. So a lot of the digital age kind of needs to die down a little bit more. Or not really die down, but basically just get a point where it just becomes very, very stagnant. And now there's a new introduction. It's kind of like there's a new peak of something here with the quantum age. So that's going to start coming in. When we start traveling the universe through spacecraft, right, a lot of it is going to be quantum technology as well too, right? So quantum dynamics, quantum technology to basically not really travel through space, but basically vibrationally align yourself into certain points, certain trajectories of space as well too. So it's coming regarding to a quantum financial system. This is what Adronis has said, but he says right now it's still a little bit more on the horizon. Okay, thank you, Rob. Zoe says here, any information about the future of the Middle East? Well, like I said, the entire world right now is just going through kind of a cocooning stage, right? It's just on the brink of a metamorphosis. We're starting to see how a lot of these rich oil tycoons in the Middle East are really realizing that their oil is not going to further them anymore. So there's definitely going to be a breakdown of systems in the Middle East, just as there's going to be breakdowns of systems all over the world as well too. So yes, they're going to have to go through major changes. They cannot live in this world anymore. This is why there's resistance, guys. It's the world telling you there has to be change, because the systems that you're running right now is no longer going to work with the new earth to come. That's why all of these things are breaking down. That's why all the cogs are just breaking down. That's why all the screws are just shooting out of the machines, right? That's exactly what's happening right now. So all of this is being told. You have to change your ways. You cannot come into the new earth with these types of systems. These types of systems have to die. And that's what's happening. We're seeing the emphasis of a lot of these systems dying. So the oil tycoons, fossil fuels, etc., all of that has to go. Using coal plants, nuclear plants, all of that has to go, right? Corrupt corporations that only are out for themselves, they have to go. So this is exactly what's taking place. We're going to see this expand a lot more over the next few years. But right now we're kind of seeing the tidal wave of that taking place. So yes, the Middle East in eventuality is going to be moving much more into an oasis, going to move into a very beautiful space, a very, very beautiful place. But there's a lot of healing, of course, in the Middle East that needs to be done first before that can happen. But just like everything else, it's all about change. All of these things are falling to the ground, and the grassroots are going to start taking its place. Free technology, free education, free living, free housing, right? A lot of that is going to be the future. But we have to get out of this very dirty transitional state first before that can come together, right? Money is only going to last for so long, right? We're not really going to be a society of money for much longer. It's only going to be transitional before people start moving into maybe the idea of barter trade, contributionism in that way. That's going to be in the next couple of decades, right? But money is not going to be lasting for much longer. It's just a transitional phase until we start moving into a much better society that relates to the idea of barter trade, contributionism, and so forth. Okay, that's where we're going. That's our future. I would say that's even the future of our children and grandchildren, all right, for them to see as adults. Okay, moving down the list here a bit more. Okay. Okay, here's a question from Tim Jones to Adronis. So like I said, I'm gonna kind of go into the introductory part of going into the channeling state, but I'm gonna be bringing him in through mediumship. Tim Jones asked, Adronis, how would you approach not wearing masks in public places people need to go? How can we show acts of non-compliance to the agenda happening? Okay, so good question, Tim. I will go ahead and bring Adronis in. It'll just take me a moment, and he'll elaborate on your question. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We thank you very much, Tim, for your question. If you are to ask us about the idea of us living on your planet, of us actually incarnating as a human being during this particular time, about how would you work in regards to the state of non-compliance relating to, as you would say, the mask situations, well, we have elaborated about this before. It was some time ago, but we will therefore enlighten you a little bit more. We would not exist in your modern civilization. We would not be in your cities. We would not be in your towns. We would be within the deep forests. We would not interact with modern man. That is simply how we would do it. Because the whole idea is that all of those particular forms of modernization, those cities, those towns that all function together, are part of systems. Hypnotic-based systems. Therefore, and the idea is that we would not participate with that. We have likened it amusingly to the idea of being what you would know as a hippie. We would not participate in those plans. It is not for us to convince you of anything. It is not for us to say that we're going to be your savior and that we're going to tell you to speak out against masks or speak out against vaccinations or speak out in any of that particular way. You don't need that. It is one's own realization that brings that about. When you realize that you do not require the idea of masks, you're not really going to wear one. If you feel that there is a necessity to wear it, you will only wear it for that particular time, and then you will take it off. And then you will look at those things and saying, well, there's a lot of necessities in these places regarding masks. So I'm going to look at some other alternatives that I can do where masks will not be required. So I may start to grow my own food. I may start to live out in nature and have an abundance of wildlife around me. And I may start to cultivate these areas. If I have a small bit of land, I'm going to turn that into a beautiful field of crop. I'm going to have food there. Or I may have farmers near me. And it's all outdoor, and I can go and I can talk to them, and I can have everything that I require just through that. And so therefore, you are accommodating yourself appropriately based on everything that is within your realization. It is not about having to convince another person. It's not about convincing. Convincing is an illusion. It's the idea that you are being the example of the person that you know you wish to be. And you're being a shining light example. Therefore, people who see this realize something. You see, if you try to convince a person and they are oblivious to any form of realization regarding what you're saying, then basically you're no more different talking to a wall. Because they will deny you. They will shun you. They will think you're crazy. They will call you a tinfoil hatter. They will call you a conspiracy theorist because they are not in the alignment of realization to speak in regards to what you have personally realized. It's not about convincing anybody. It's about you sharing these things because you're the shining light example. But you do not share to convince. You share for the joy of sharing. You share because this brings you happiness to share this, to share your revelations with everybody else. So in that sense, our involvement is not necessary. This is why, in that sense, if, again, we were asked quite some time ago, Adronis, what would you do if you were incarnated as a human being on this planet? And that was our answer. We would live in nature. We would live in the forests. We would not have interaction with the modern man. We would have interactions with people that live similarly to how we live, but we would not be involved with your civilization on a modern level at all. Not one bit. That's simply where we stand altogether, because it's not about convincing. It's about you, through realization, being the example of who you are, and gladly sharing that example out of love and out of compassion, for there is no other hidden agenda behind it. All right? We thank you. Okay. Thank you, Tim, for your question. Okay, and I had a $1.99 contribution here from Angie. Thank you very much. I have another contribution here from N-Duality for 20. Thank you, N-Duality. That was very nice of you. Both you and Angie. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just go through the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one from Yana. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Yana D. She asks a question for Adronis. How to discern if one is in the present moment, acting from the present moment, or being close to it, when we are just acting out of the past? Thank you. We thank you very much for your question. You cannot act out of the past. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as the past. There's no such thing as the future. When you're looking at the past, you're looking at it right now. You have never not been present, you see? But what has happened is that many of you are not aware that you're present. You're not aware that you're here right now. You're caught up in a memory. You're caught up in a mind perspective of something that you feel happened yesterday, but you're looking at it right now. Or something that may happen next week, but you're looking at it right now. You see, you've never been out of the present moment. You've never been out of the now, because there's nothing else but now. It's simply the realization, as we just stated. You have to be aware of these things. You want to realize that you're present, and everything you've ever experienced has happened right now. There has never been a then. There has never been a foresight of the idea of a possibility of the future. There is no past. There is no future. Those are side effects of the illusions of memories, the illusions of hypotheticalness, the illusions of mind play. That's the idea. You've never been out of the now moment. Not a single one of you, not a single being has ever been out of the now, has never been out of the here. You'll always be here. You'll always be now. And therefore, when you realize there is no past and future, because whenever I'm looking at the past, I'm just looking at a memory. Whenever I'm looking at the future, I'm just looking at probability. I'm only looking at a possibleness. I'm only looking at a prediction. I'm only looking at a forecast. So the whole idea is to completely transcend that idea. Everything is here and now. There can never be anything else, because that's all there is. All right? Thank you. All right. Thank you, Yana, for your question. Okay. Yeah, someone asked about the question in India. I've actually addressed that, guys, last week. Okay, so I want you just to go back to episode 19, last week's New Earth TV Live. The situation with India was addressed. Okay, so you can look into that. Same thing with Hollow Earth, guys. I believe that was talked about last week too. It was either last week, episode 19, or episode 18. Okay, look into those. Adronis has already talked about that. Okay, clustered Earth, honeycomb Earth, not hollow. Interesting questions, you guys here. Val asks, why do crowns look creepy to certain people? Well, some people are creeped out by grasshoppers, man. Again, you're only looking at your own perspective. You're not looking at anybody else creeped out by clowns. It's yourself. There is no other person, right? Sri Bhagavad Ramana Maharshi put it very well. When a person says, what can we do to help others? And he told that person, there are no others, right? And that is the greatest truth realization. There's nobody else here, man. You're the only one. You're the only one in your reality that has observation. So when you say, why are other people creeped out by clowns? You can't know that. That's just your own perspective, and you're finding other people that you feel are creeped out by clowns because you're creeped out by clowns. So you attract those reflections into your reality. You're creeped out by clowns, okay? Another person, another person, another person, no other person. It's just your vibration, all right? So you're looking at this observation. So if you're creeped out by something, then you're fragile. You've weakened yourself because you're creeped out. Whenever we look away and we become offended, we are only emphasizing the fragility of our being, okay? When you do this, or you go, right? You're impaired. That is emotional impairment. That is emotional illness. And it's like I was talking about when we were doing the black ball, white ball, relating to the nature of emotion, okay? Emotion is hypnosis. That's what it is. You're hypnotized by that emotion. There's nothing else in your reality. When you feel disgust, that's the only thing you're feeling in your reality right now. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. Oh, right? You freeze up and you're now hypnotized by that emotion, completely within that reality. You're now in that sphere, or better, that cube, right? You are hypnotized by that. Therefore, Val, by staying there, you're not doing yourself a service, okay? You're now just realizing this is something I can make peace with. I could have a clown come in front of me and do all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to be affected by it because I've made peace with it. I am more than the body and the mind. I am the soul. I am the spirit. I am the light of God. I am God, and God is me. And I am everything beyond this body. I am everything beyond this physical world. I am everything beyond this mind. And when you realize that, clowns don't bother you anymore. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. Clowns, grasshoppers, whatever. Okay? So it's not about anything else outside of you. It's you. It's always coming back to you. You're the center of your universe. You're the creator. You're the sovereign sitting on the throne. So when you are bothered by these things, you are admitting to yourself you're emotionally ill. You're emotionally impaired. You're fragile. You're fractured. Right? That's a weakness. So the strong, people who are strong, do not stick with that idea of being impaired. They are always willing to transform themselves. They look at that. It's a learning. So, okay, I realize that I've gone through a lot of this and I've had this animosity for a long time. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to clear that away. I'm going to be absolutely fearless on this planet, which means not a single thing will ever bring me into fear. Why? Because I'm the creator. Because I am God and God is in me. I am the light of God. The light of God is in me. This temple is that of the creator. The creator resides within. And I'm the only one here, and I'm the observer here. So nothing can disturb me, because I've made peace with everything. I look at everything with a smile, with contentment, right? That's the challenge you're giving yourself. And that is how you become the true strong being, the true strong sovereign. A true strong sovereign is not afraid of anything. They're not bothered by anything. They're not disturbed by anything. They have completely neutralized all of that because they've done such great inner depth work with themselves. And that's the key. That is the key to your true liberation, to being completely free. Not freedom, but being completely free, because there's nothing dominating you anymore. You are sovereign. All right? So please remember that, everybody. Okay. JP Power asks, Adronis, what are the Akashic Records? Well, you guys know I do Akashic Record Sessions, right? For someone with no previous experience or understanding of them, what are they? Okay? One moment. We thank you, JP, for your question. What are the Akashic Records? Well, for you to have a language and actually express yourself requires the Akashic Records. For you to have memory, to understand the nature of yourself and the nature of everything pertaining to your environment, requires the Akashic Records. It is information. It is knowledge. It is energy stored within all things, right at the atomic level. The atom itself contains this knowledge, this energy, this information. It contains everything that exists within this universe. That's what the atom itself contains. It's energy. Therefore, when you're looking into the Akashic Records, you are aligning yourself to the records of information based upon a theme that you have instilled by thought. So you have given a thought about a particular theme. You have gone into the records. You have moved into the higher states, the causal plane, to where the records themselves exist, and you access that information. So you are going through meditation. You are going into that inner state. You are feeling the energy around you. You are letting that energy in. You are letting that energy speak to you. And now that energy shares this information pertaining to the records with you. So the Akashic in Sanskrit simply means space or ether. And therefore you have the records. So you're looking at an etheric record. You're looking at a record of space, a record of energy. And that is what you are accessing through these natural heightened states of being. Just as Brad is able to do, just as others who are able to read the records are able to do. All right? Thank you. Okay. Thank you, JP, for your question. Oh, here's a very nice thing here for interesting things. Okay, interesting things. You have an interesting question. All right. Question for Adronis. How should we build houses so that they are energetically healthy for us? We thank you very much, interesting things, for your question. Well, again, your Native Americans already knew this. Much of your indigenous people already know this. That they built their houses out of earth clay. That they built teepees. That they lived in huts, all naturally, organically produced of the earth. No synthetics, no chemicals, no toxins, no pollutants within the entire infrastructure. So some of you decide to build cob houses. Some of you will decide to build earth clay houses with proper insulation as well too. You see, in that sense, everything, when you return back into nature and you are utilizing everything, all of the resources that the earth herself is providing you, and you create it in that way. Some of you will even create stone houses. That too is efficient. It's all about coming back into the reflection of nature, how nature exists, and being able to utilize the idea of organic materials, such as cob houses, such as stone houses, such as any other particular form that you wish. It is all about being able to work together in that degree of natural alignment pertaining to shelters. Some people even lived in caves for a certain amount of time. We're not saying that you have to go live out in caves, but look into the organic materials that humanity itself has had access for many thousands of years, whether it be stone houses, cob houses, clay houses, etc. It's all about you. Look into the organic properties pertaining to these domiciles. And that is what's keeping you free of any toxins, of any chemicals, of any pollutants, of any artificialities. It doesn't need to be there. All right? We thank you. Okay. Thank you. Interesting things. Okay, there's just a question. I don't really need to bring Adronis in this. No, guys, there is no war breaking out between the United States and Russia. There is an attempt. There's a polling on that. We have moved into a new Earth, everybody. Okay, it's not going to lead into nuclear war. It's not going to lead into World War III. It's not going to lead into any of that. All of this stuff is falling down. When they're basically sharing a lot of this stuff, this is the sign of desperation. Basically trying to say these things to bring it in. Russia is in no way looking to go to war with anybody. Okay, it's not in their alignment. It actually goes back into what Edgar Cayce said a while when he was alive, when he was doing a certain particular type of reading, and he talked about Russia. He basically said the hope of the world lies within Mother Russia, right? That was his own words. And that's really what's happening, right? So Russia is not going to war with anybody, okay? So again, there's temptations to try and bring them into war, but no, it won't happen. They already know the game. They already know how these people play these games. They're not going to go into that alignment, okay? We're not going into a new Earth where there's destruction on a mass scale pertaining to war and massive nuclear detonation, right? There's basically a no nuke policy. There's anybody that tries to use nukes on the planet, they get deactivated right away. Okay, behind the scenes ensures of that. So guys, don't get into that vibration looking into war. You guys have to remember what's in here. You have to remember yourselves as sovereign. Talked about it to death. Okay. Okay, you guys really get into politician questions. Again, guys, like I said, I don't really talk about politics anymore. Okay, politicians and predictions. So don't ask me. It's not going to be answered. Okay, here's one from Olga Patty. Olga says, can Brad or Adronis tell us more about Sirius B and its civilization? Well, I can give a little bit of information and Adronis can follow up. From what I've understood with Sirius B, it's a very kind of technocratic-based star system, right? There's 14 planets that exist within Sirius B, and a lot of them are, it's kind of like the New York City of Canis Major in that way, is that there's a lot of beings kind of coming and going. There's a lot of different populations there. There's different extraterrestrial civilizations that will create habitats on different planets or on orbital platforms and such. There's a lot of invention happening there. It's kind of like a bustling city complex relating to Sirius B altogether. Okay, so that's kind of what I've referred to relating to Sirius B. So it's not just looking at his civilization, guys. We're looking at many different civilizations. There are many civilizations that exist in Sirius B. Even here in our star system, there's many different civilizations, right? On the surface, there's humanity. When we go into the Earth, we have many different interior civilizations. We have inner civilizations there. When we go up into the atmosphere, we have different civilizations that exist up there. When we go into our oceans, we have different civilizations that exist there. It's not just one civilization. Again, that just becomes the idea of assumption, right? Oh, well, there just must be one civilization in Sirius B. No, guys, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them, right? It's it's very difficult to explain because we don't have that experience under our belt to even explore our own star system to see how it works. This is why Adronis is kind of limited with what he shares about how a star system functions, because we're not there yet, right? It's kind of like asking a little child what they can do when they become a man, right? They're not at that level yet. They have to kind of move more into a coming of age time, right? Where they can start to learn about that. And we're still basically just little children on this planet. We're not really able to look at those coming of age situations yet because we have to start moving in that direction. Right now, we're just learning how to coexist together with each other, not trying to kill one another, not trying to blow each other up, right? Trying to work together with the earth rather than injuring her. Working together and aligning together and building together and cooperating together. That's where we are as an infant civilization, because we really are. We're very, very young. We're one of the youngest civilizations here in this entire galaxy. But we have, again, the most promise because of the capabilities that we each have. But we are a very, very young civilization. Okay? Adronis want to talk about Sirius B? Let me see what he shares. We thank you very much again for your question regarding the nature of Sirius B. Well, Sirius B again has much more political, technocratic, other forms of governance contained within it. It would be what you would know as your own advanced galactic civilization to where you will be going within the next several hundred years. That there will be organizations, that there will be fleets, that there will be federations, that there will be certain organizations that work together with administration degrees of certain premises where other civilizations can share space on other planets. There is technological advancements pertaining to the idea of Sirius B, relating to the designing of spacecraft, of energy technologies, of dimensional technologies, of quantum technologies. It is quite vast. We are estimating that currently there are 554 different civilizations existing within Sirius B at this time. 554. So we do not have, as you would say, the time to go into it, but it is, as you would say, a vast civilization. And that number is going through certain states of flux based upon the idea of other civilizations coming and going upon different agreements relating to treaties. All right? That is what we can share with them at this time. Okay. There you go. So let's go down the list here a little bit more. Someone asks about technology on Adronis' home planet. Adronis doesn't really use technology. They don't use technology. How he has explained it before is that when he's connecting with me, in that example, he comes into his Merkaba vessel. Okay, they do not work with any forms of nuts and bolts technology at all. They don't have any spaceships. They don't have any spacecraft. Nothing like that at all. There's no form of technology. There's no energy technology. There's nothing, right? All it is pure consciousness. They're working with their inventions of consciousness and aligning them into matter, and basically looking at light everywhere, looking at energy everywhere, patterns everywhere, geometries everywhere. Everything is just this pure synthesis of manifested thought, right? That's their nature. When he's connecting to the Merkaba, that's again thought coming together. But there's no nuts and bolts. There's no mechanical pieces in regards to that. You would say that it's a higher light technology, but it's not the technology that we would understand. So he doesn't work with that at all. Okay. Okay, let me go down here a little bit more. Okay. Okay, this is from Logan, my broski. That's the first time I've been called that. Sending you an Adronis blessings. Thank you. I love if Adronis can speak on the magic and power of music and its relation to the quantum field. Thank you both. Okay. Yes, I'll bring Adronis in for that. He can share some insight on it. We thank you for your question, broski. Therefore, the idea of what you would know as music is that it is the natural language of creation. Everything has a melody to it. Everything has a symphony. Everything has an orchestra. And it is these harmonic symphonies that basically make what you would know as the natural living geometry, the harmony that it is. You are able to experience this for yourself. In fact, it was your own Dr. Emoto that utilized, again, the process of thought and feelings to determine, in that sense, rice. That when rice itself was filled with love, it was preserved. When the other rice here in the other jar was filled with hatred and fear, it was deteriorating. Well, these themselves are actually symphonies. When you actually speak with words, you're actually conveying a symphony. The way that your body moves in certain degrees of expression is a symphony. The way that your earth exists, the way that she lives, is all part of the process of a symphony. You will have your musical instruments and you will play your songs in that way, and that is a melody of a different degree. This is why humans are so fascinated with the nature of music, because of what it does to you. It's like sound-based candy. It's candy for your ears. But you see, that's how the nature of the universe works entirely. Not through the idea of, in that sense, looking into these beautiful melodies of classical music, orchestras, etc., but orchestras of a different nature, working with their radio signals, with their own Schumann resonances, with their own auras and energy fields, the energies of life upon their planets, because life does exist in the other worlds here in your star system by themselves. So everything is a symphony. An atom is a symphony. It is an orchestra. The way that it works together with its proton-electron relationship. The way that your sun works together with the planets is all part of a symphony. So there are different symphonies and different orchestras that all work together, that are mathematically arranged in harmony to, in that sense, complement the harmony of life. So that is exactly what it is. You could say everything in the universe is guarded around music, is guarded around sound, is guarded around symphony and harmonics in this way. Sound is what makes all matter the way it is in this state of harmony. From how you understand physical reality, how you research your sacred geometry, it's all through the process of sound that connects together through that manifestation of matter, through the power of sound. It is sound that creates light. It's not the other way around. Sound is the primordial giver. Even goes back into your biblical understandings. That again, upon the waters, the word of God came, and then there was light. So there you go. Looking at the nature of sound, you even see how sound is able to shape water. How sound is able to shape sand through your cymatics. This is how it is. Sound is the primary giver of manifestation, of form, of material. All right? We thank you. Okay, great. Thank you, Logan. Okay, guys, we'll take a few more questions and we're going to wrap up. Question: who were the ant-men in the ancient Hopi Indian culture? They were actual ant people. They are one of the ancient civilizations that live internally into the earth, right? It's very similar to how there are snake people or serpentine people or dragon people, okay? These are all inner earth civilizations. They're not extraterrestrial, okay? A lot of ancient civilizations have met these ancient inner earth people, okay? Some of them are ant beings, okay? Some of them are dragons. They basically have the appearance of like a dragon or a type of lizard in that way, but with more dragon-like features, or serpentine races in that way, or human beings, right? A lot of them are visitors from the inner earth because a lot of these inner earth civilizations are far more advanced technologically and spiritually than humanity is. They're kind of like our elders, right? So we could refer to them not only as the inner earth civilizations, but as the elder races, right? The elder races exist. And like I said, there's many dozens of different civilizations that exist internally into our planet, okay? So yes, a lot of these are our elder races that come together and they share things with man. They may teach them languages, they may teach them mathematics, they may teach them about advanced levels of living, music, etc. as well too. It's like the Fae as well too, right? The Fae in different dimensions have also taught man. They're not, well, you could say there are some in the inner earth that may relate to the idea of Fae, but other Fae that we could refer to, like with Tir Nog in that way, would again be on their own earth, their own dimensional earth. But at times they have had emissaries coming through teaching humanity certain things. Some of them will actually be here right now as hybrids. Okay, guys, it's so extensive, it's so big, it's so huge. There's so much happening on our planet, guys. I can't possibly begin to cover it all. There's so much, right? But yes, we're just looking at the elder races. When you're looking at Ant-Man, when you're looking at that, right? With all the drawings and depictions over time, these are actual civilizations. The elder races existing underneath our feet. All right? Okay. Okay, I'm just going down the list here, guys. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, well, this is actually a common question from Yana again, because it's a good question here. Why do I fall asleep often while doing breathing meditation? Well, the whole idea in that sense is that, first of all, I would not recommend you doing meditation if you're tired, okay? If you are tired, you're going to go to sleep. If you're going to go into meditation, you're going to go to sleep in that way because your brain is just not aligned to that state of focus. It requires an active and alert mind, okay? This is why I suggest maybe doing it in the morning, doing it in the afternoon, or the early evening in that way. But whenever we feel that fatigue coming in, just we may just feel like there's a lot of exhaustion within our body as well too, even if it's in the midday, for example. So you want to work on detoxifying yourself. You want to get a lot of that pollutant, a lot of those toxins, a lot of that debris out of your body. You may want to start doing some exercises, yoga, right? Go for walks, go out into nature, get energized in nature, right? Work together when you're actually at a potent state of activity, and then start going into meditation. Don't meditate when you're falling asleep, okay? You're just going to fall asleep. So that's an important one because I do get that question quite a bit, okay? Just if you're exhausted, don't meditate. Go have a good sleep. Wait until you're potently active, then go into meditation, okay? Okay, I think we're going to end on this last question here. This is from Pseudo Wolf. Pseudo Wolf asks, question, I meditate every day, but rarely do I ever get that bliss feeling one can get during meditation. What could be causing the blockage? What can I do to improve my meditation? Your meditations don't bring you bliss, guys. Okay? You're looking at technique to try and feel that you're going to get bliss. I'll just go into meditation, I'll get blissed out. No. Meditation is a reflection time, right? We go still. We go into the stillness of the waters so that we realize the power of our thought, okay? The whole idea here is to work with the breath, Work with stilling yourself, centering yourself, calming yourself. And it's like looking at a still pond. The entire water has become still. There's not a single ripple in the water. And when you're in that stillness, you now feel a thought coming on. You now feel a feeling coming on. You may feel an emotion coming on. And you realize its power. You realize that, right? That is my emphasis word here. You realize these things, right? I feel like Dr. Evil. Realize, okay? But it's the truth. We do not go into meditation thinking that meditation by itself is going to throw us into a Buddhic-like transformation, okay? No, guys. That is not how it works. That is so unbelievably misunderstood. It's nothing but a practice. Your heightening of bliss comes from your realizations, right? I could sit in meditation and just not do anything and not have any blissful experience whatsoever because I'm relying on the technique to give me bliss, and you're going backwards. You're putting the cart before the horse. You're not doing it correctly, right? We work in meditation to still ourselves, to go within ourselves, to look within ourselves, to look at the power of that thought when I'm still on the water, to look at any corrections that I need to make within myself because I'm able to reflect on these thoughts. I see how strong they are because I'm stilled, because I'm calm, because I'm relaxed, because I'm centered. Now I can see these manifestations of thought and coming together. Oh my goodness, I realize what I've been doing. Aha moment. I realize what I've been putting too much energy into. I realize what I've been throwing my weight around here in this way. I can now correct this. I know how to do it. Okay? Did meditation give you that realization? No, it did not. You gave yourself that realization. You gave yourself that blissful aha moment. Guys, it's you. 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 It's not techniques. I want you to really ingrain that into your brain right now. What's Brad saying here? That meditation isn't going to give me bliss? No. That I'm going to give myself bliss? Yes. Do you get it now? It's not about technique. It's like basically riding in a vehicle. Okay? You built this vehicle, but the vehicle's not going to drive itself. It needs the driver. Right? So meditation is the vehicle. You're going into the vehicle. You're starting it up. You're driving it. Right? As you're driving this vehicle, you now go through these experiences. You are feeling all of this. You go through your bliss. You go through your happiness. You go through your love. You go through your joy. You have realizations. And now it clicks to you. I realize now I've been going too fast. I've been going too slow. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So now you learn how to be a better driver because you're reflecting within yourself. Meditation is just a vehicle. It's an instrument. Okay? Even those who are very advanced don't even meditate. Okay? People who are very advanced, you could say, are the masters or the sages or the gurus in that sense. They don't even meditate because they have already known how to align to that realization within themselves. They don't need to hop into that vehicle anymore. They can just walk on foot to wherever they need to go. Okay? That's an example here. Really, in that sense, I would suggest that when a person is very, very advanced, yes, they will throw meditation away. And do you know what they will say about meditation? Meditation is for a novice. All right? It's a vehicle. It's a crutch. It's a handicap. So when you start to go more into the nature of realization, you don't need meditation anymore because you're naturally in that state all the time. You're naturally receptive to your realization. One who realizes God doesn't even need to go into meditation anymore because they've already reached that frontier within themselves. Right? We go into meditation because many of us want sensationalism. We want to be hit. We want to have some type of thrill, right? We want to get that big blah, out of body experience and all that. No, guys, meditation doesn't do that. You do that. It is through every single person in their own unique way. When they look into themselves and they have realization. Now that may be a glorious moment. They may go out of body and they may start looking at these beautiful temples in the higher planes. They may start going into these beautiful oases, these beautiful spaces in the heavenly realms, going into the heavenly spheres, etc. Because that is what was necessary for them to see the big picture. They did it to themselves. Meditation didn't do it. Prayer didn't do it. You did it. Right? Is this making sense to you guys? Right? Crystal clear here. So Brad, you're saying that I'm the one that makes these beautiful aha moments happen. I'm the one that experiences these beautiful downloads. I'm the one that's going into these out-of-body experiences. I'm the one's having these blissful moments. Yes! Because there's nobody else here. Right? People forget that the second I say it. As soon as I say there's nobody else here, yeah, but what about my mom? What about my dad? What did I just say to you, man? What did I just say to you? There's nobody else here. Everybody else is a reflection of you. When you are looking at somebody else and their personality and how they are and how they behave, it's a reflection of how you are seeing yourself through the reflection of that person. You're the only observer. You're the only creator. You're the only sovereign. There is one God. There is one son. There is one daughter. There is one observer. There is one creator. You. That's the law of one. All things are one, including you, including this reality. You're it. You're all that's here. Everything else that you see are reflections. Because you cannot go into that other soul's perspective and see their life through their perspective. That's not possible. They have their own universe. You have your own universe. You cannot go into another one's universe. Therefore, you're the only observer in your universe. Therefore, you are the only one that has realizations. You're the only one that has aha moments. You're the only one that has downloads. You're the one that liberates yourself. It's you guys. You're the ones that do this. This is why I teach you guys how to go into yourself. This is why I create all this material, right? Because this has personally helped me, and I share it with you guys, and a lot of it for free. So like I said, I would love to see you guys, message me and say, Brad, thank you so much for the BCR technique because I'm doing this with my inner work. When I hear somebody saying I'm doing inner work, that thrills me beyond joy. It's amazing. I love hearing that, right? I'm not just putting these things up on YouTube to gather dust, right? If you really want to look at my most important video, it's the BCR-TC technique, okay? So really looking into those things, helping yourself to work with the inner development, the inner work, because then you guys get this and you guys don't have to ask me these questions, right? Because you already know. And I agree fundamentally too as well, is that meditation is for the novice, okay? It's for someone who has not yet been realized. When you're realized, when you have that realization, meditation is nothing. You can throw it aside because you're always in that state of realization. You're in natural meditation, right? So that's what I can share about that as well too. All right. Thank you guys. Like I said, it was a really good way to end today's broadcast, New Earth TV Live. Thank you so much. And I'll speak to you all guys again next week. Again, let me just double check for the Adronis event here. Okay, Adronis Life in Higher Planes. So that's happening Sunday, May 16th. So again, feel free to check that out, Life in Higher Planes. And of course, Akashic Record Sessions are now available as well on newearthteachings.com. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of the week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll speak to you all very, very short. In the next video, I should say. I'm also creating a new season of the New Earth Teachings episodes. Okay, and they're really, really professionally done. Okay, very good quality. They're kind of like cinematic episodes. So that will be debuting in May. The first episode will be debuting in May. I have a person who's working on the episode intro of it. He's done commercials with Nordstrom Rack before as well too. So he's working on the intro of this. So it's being very professionally done. I'm working a lot more into cinematic, technical nature, I guess you could say. So I'm making this very, very professional, very cinematic, and these episodes will be great. So expect the first episode here in May, and it's called The Unseen Forces, episode 1. Okay, thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll speak to you again in another perspective than now. Take care.